Here we are camping, and we have a storm behind us. And today I'm going to share with you a story about Jesus and how he calms the storm. Storms are a common fear among children and sometimes adults. Storms are noisy and unpredictable. We have no choice but to seek shelter and wait for the calm to come. It is not surprising that the disciples were afraid when the storm arose upon the Sea of Galilee. The story of Jesus calming the storm is found in 3 of the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. I'm going to read to you from the Bible, Luke 8, verses 22 through 25. One day he got into a boat with the disciples, and he said to them, "Let us go across to the other side of the lake." So they put out, and while they were sailing, he fell asleep. A windstorm swept down on the lake, and the boat was filling with water, and they were in danger. They went to him and woke him up, shouting, "Master, Master, we are perishing!" And he woke up and rebuked the wind and the raging waves. They ceased, and there was a calm. He said to them, "Where is your faith?" They were afraid and amazed, and said to one another, "Who then is this, that he commands even the winds and the water, and they obey him?" Ruby, will you read to us the children's story?
After a day of teaching along the Sea of Galilee, Jesus and his disciples decided to cross the sea and continue to the other side. The Sea of Galilee was small, much more like a large lake, but deeper and surrounded by mountains. Storms can rise suddenly and produce large waves. Jesus wasn't being irresponsible, knowingly sailing into a storm. When they got into the boat and set across the water, the storm probably just suddenly developed once they were out of the water. Their boat would have likely been a large fishing boat with both oars and sails. It had to be large enough to see all 12 disciples and Jesus, who had room to sleep in the back. Jesus has been teaching in parables all day to the crowd and told the disciples to follow him and go towards the other side of the lake, the Gentile side. And as the boat left the shore, gently rocking into the water, Jesus curled up on a pillow at the back of the boat and lapsed into a well-earned nap. While he was sleeping, the storm developed, and disciples became afraid. They woke Jesus to save them.
Today's story is about identity and faith. If the disciples were afraid their boat would sink with the Son of God on board, they were certainly unclear as to Jesus' identity. As you prepare for this storm, remember that Jesus will calm the storm. And if you ever come across a time where you're feeling afraid, or if you're feeling alone, just remember that Jesus is here to calm that storm, whether it be a real storm or the storm that's in your heart. Ruby.
Can we all share a time that we were scared of a storm and that we thought Jesus was with us?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So one time the tornado sirens were going off and we were all really scared. But then we just have to remember that God has a plan for each one of us.
Were you ever scared of a storm? No? Never? How about you, Finn?
I was scared of a snowstorm because it was 4 feet high. Okay, God has a plan. He knows what to do.
Did you remember one, Will?
Well, I mean, I always remember God's with me.
Yep, God is always with you. Even during this storm, right? Yes. So as this storm comes, are we going to be afraid?
No!
No.
God is with us.
You are
Happy
right.
4th of July.
Yeah.